My name is Barry DuVal. I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of our 26,000 members across the Commonwealth and on behalf of the Virginia Early Childhood Foundation, I want to thank you for being here today. Someone came up to me recently and said, hey, I'm coming to that event. Should I expect 700 people or 800 people? Peter, we had a conference a couple weeks ago on workforce. There were 906 people. And this is a very, very important time in the life of Virginia. And I'm so pleased to see the number of business people across the Commonwealth focused on workforce readiness. But this particular event is a little more unique in that we have thought leaders, business leaders, and people here on an invitation-only basis. And we really appreciate the work that each of you do and the support that you provide to the beginning of that workforce pipeline, and that is the focus on early childhood. We have a great program for you today. I think you'll see that on your table. We look forward to hearing from two distinguished speakers that will be more formally introduced in a few minutes. But I would just like to say, before I recognize our sponsors and some distinguished guests and begin our luncheon, that the Virginia Chamber of Commerce is so pleased with the partnership that we have with the Early Childhood Foundation. A few years ago, when we put forward our first blueprint for Virginia, and then most recently when we had the pleasure of presenting the second blueprint, we've been able to include in our education and workforce initiatives the importance of early childhood and the learning that takes place. And I think it's been largely through the education process and the business community support that we have seen members of the House and the Senate, members in the executive branch, and people at all levels of government recognize the importance of partnering together with the business community for this. So for all of you, I'd like to thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. I want to recognize a few of our sponsors. Dominion Energy as once again our presenting sponsor for this event. I want to thank our Vanguard sponsor, Huntington Ingalls Industry. You'll hear from Bill Ermatinger, the chair this year of the foundation. Huntington Ingalls was just recognized by Forbes magazine as one of the best places for new graduates to come and work. Bill, congratulations to you as the Chief Human Resource Officer. And his boss, Mike Petters, spoke a few years ago at our workforce conference. And Bill, if you remember, he started off at keynote address by saying he wanted to bring a national security issue to the attention of the people attending our workforce conference. And I was standing there beside him, and he said the national security interest of the United States of America needs to be focused on early childhood education. He went on to give a great speech. It was published in the Wall Street Journal, and it really demonstrates Huntington Ingalls' commitment for their support for the entire workforce pipeline. I want to thank PNC Bank, a new sponsor for us at this event. Richard Bynum and Sonia McCormick is here. They're actually having an open house later today downtown, and we thank him for their support. We also want to thank Wells Fargo and Tom Palmer for their ongoing support, and Capital One and Mike Sladek for their support in making this event possible. Please join me in a round of applause for our sponsors. I want to spend just a minute and recognize some special guests. I know the First Lady is going to be joining us later, and we're going to ask her to say a few words. But I also want to thank from the Governor's Office, Megan Healy, the Chief Workforce Development Advisor, and Jenna Conway, the Chief Deputy of the Department of Education. We also are fortunate to have delegates Lamont Bagby and Dickie Bell and Chris Peace. If you guys at least raise your hands so we can recognize you. Let's give all of them a round of applause. I also want to recognize Siobhan Donovan. She was our Senate Legislator of the Year. I stood up here on the stage. Thank you for being here, Senator. And I think I have representatives from Rosalind Dantz's office, Jennifer McClellan, and also Luke Pretty. So thank all of you for being here. Mayor LeVar Stoney has representatives here. I also want to thank and recognize the importance of my partners throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia in local chambers of commerce and regional chambers of commerce. Bob McKenna, who is here from the Peninsula Chamber, and Kim Sheeler from the Regional Chamber of Commerce in the Richmond area. And thank you both for making workforce a priority for you. Let's give them a round of applause and thank them as well. And then just because we have so many joint board members, I think Kathy has a strategy with my past chairs. You hear the rumbling. So if you've been a chair of the chamber, you may become a member of the Virginia Early Childhood Board in the near future. But just raise your hand if you're on my board or if you're on the Early Childhood Board. Please raise your hand and thank them for their service and their commitment. And I just want to say, as the First Lady comes and joins us up here, hey, that we want to thank her. Let's give her a round of applause, not to embarrass you, but thank you for being here today and showing us the support. And we'll get a chance to introduce her in just a few minutes. But I just want to thank all of you for your time and for your treasure. I mean, we measure what's important to us in our lives by looking at our calendars and looking at our checkbooks. And I want to thank those of you who are here that have invested your time and your treasure. I see Delegate Peace, thank you for being here as well. I want to thank all of you for the work that you're doing on behalf of the Commonwealth. Thanks for what you're doing on behalf of the future of the Commonwealth. I really think 20 years from now, our state will be whatever our workforce allows us to be. So for those of you who are investing in our workforce, thank you so much, and I pray and hope that you will enjoy your dinner, enjoy your time of fellowship, and our business program will take place in just a few minutes. So enjoy your time.